He plays as center back for Maharlika Taguig FC, and he also marked a new milestone by getting into the starting 11 for a PFL game. We're so proud of you. Here to talk about how he is carving his own path in the world of sports. Welcome to the scorecard in the studio, Santino Rosales.
Hi,
Santino,
Erica.
it's so nice to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to finally be here. It's a pleasure, definitely, for me.
Of course, especially because I know this is your first live interview when it comes to sports specifically, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
yeah.
we're so excited to know about your story. So let's begin, Santino.
Let's get into it.
Tell us about your journey in football. Like, how did you start? Who even pushed you into the sport? When?
Okay, I started maybe around 12 years old, but it was just kicking around, watching football videos of Ronaldo, just playing in my grandma's backyard. I didn't start properly training until I was 14, which is relatively late for a footballer. I started when my mom asked me if I wanted to join the Kaya Academy. It was a definite yes for me, and then from there my journey just started. I think one of the biggest milestones was getting into Davao Aguilas under 23. From there it was Copa, then PFL, and then now I'm at Maharlika. So it's the journey is still definitely young, and I'm looking forward to what else it has to offer.
All right. Now, out of all of the clubs that you mentioned, because I also know that you've had a vast experience when it comes to football as well. When was that pivotal moment for you when you decided that wow, like I can actually make a career out of football? Do you remember that moment? Walk us through that.
Yeah, I do actually, and it wasn't too long ago. It was about 2-3 years ago, just after the pandemic, because in college I kind of gave up on football and realized that it wasn't worthwhile pursuing my childhood dream. But after the pandemic, I got an opportunity to try out for the Davao Aguilas under 23, as I mentioned earlier. And from there, I kind of saw that some of people that I knew who I was playing with were going pro. And so I told myself, like, okay, maybe there's still time to rekindle the childhood dream and pursue it. I think that was really the turning point for me, where I went for it.
Right. Okay, you did mention about your college experience in football. I know that you also played for the De La Salle football team back in the day, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and now obviously you're shifting professionally in football, playing now for Maharlika FC. So can you tell us the difference, between collegiate football and professional football?
Well, I didn't actually get to play in the UAAP competition because I was juggling that and the club activities at the same time. But I mean, I got to train with them, and really the difference is quite big. It's not exactly something you see on TV or on the internet when you're streaming it. You got to be immersed in it to understand that there are certain things and intricacies that are present in the pro level that aren't there in collegiate. So the quality is definitely so much better as a pro, and it took a while for me to adjust to it.
Okay, let's talk about adjustments. What was the biggest adjustment that you had to make coming into the pro leagues?
I guess it's trying to fight for time to play, and trying to earn respect as a player. But yeah, you really just have to keep your head down, keep working hard, and constantly tell yourself that there's always room to improve, and to listen to people who are better than you. So that's been my philosophy for my football journey, really.
In football, how do you exactly fight for time to play on the pitch? Like, do you prove that in trainings, or how do you do that?
Definitely in training, because as most coaches say, you gotta train how you want to play in game.
Okay.
So that's really the first avenue to prove yourself. But also, when you do get the chance, you gotta take it. You gotta make sure that you give everything out there so that they can see if you deserve another chance or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Santino, I also know that, of course, aside from being a professional football player, you also are a professional model as well. I also know that you were an entrepreneur, or is an entrepreneur?
So.
Sort of still?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a lot of projects on your plate right now, but what is it about football that just gravitates you back to that?
Well, okay, I from an early age, I already knew what I wanted, which is to be a businessman, a professional footballer, and then modeling on the side. So what makes me gravitate towards football again, time and time again, is really just the time. Because I understood that for modeling and business, my lifespan in those careers are a lot longer than it is in football. That's why this is my current focus right now.
Right.
Yeah,
That
while I'm
makes
still young.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, just out of curiosity, Santino, because we all know that your dad is also one of the best actors of our time. Has acting always been in the cards for you as well? Or definitely, was it an interest for you or talagang
Never.
football talaga from an early age?
Yeah, it
Football.
was football and business for me, and a bit of modeling. But showbiz acting was not for me. Like, I did a few workshops. I was told that I had the skill set to excel in it, but there's really no passion for me in it.
Right.
So that's why I don't want to pursue it at all.
And at least you can say that confidently because it's not as if you haven't tried it, right? Like you've tried it and you can confidently say that no, it's really not.
Yeah.
It's really not my thing.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing that your parents never pushed you
Yeah.
towards that direction. They still gave you the freedom to find out who you are and what you like.
Very supportive.
Yeah. Okay, Santino. What are some of the challenges that you face as a professional football player here in the Philippines specifically? Let's localize it here.
Well, first of all, I guess it's something that all footballers go through, which is that the platform that we have isn't that great compared to other countries.
Correct, yes.
Because first of all, it's not as popular. That's the main thing. Because it's not as popular, it doesn't generate as much revenue, and because there's no revenue, the support we get as footballers isn't that great. But I have to commend what we're getting is already amazing compared to before. So there's that. But as an individual, really it's just constantly working and trying to be strong mentally, because being on the bench or fighting for time, as I mentioned earlier, it's tough mentally, and nobody talks about that. So I think that's my biggest struggle as an athlete.
Right. Okay, I want to pivot back to what you said earlier because the other day we actually invited Natasha Alqueros. She's currently the president of the Women's Philippine Football Association here in the Philippines. And you know, she was kind of just relaying and sharing with us some of the struggles that not only women in sports go through, but football here in the Philippines in general, what they go through.
Yeah.
But in your opinion, Santino, what do you think can be done pa to kind of expand the sport in terms of its popularity here in the Philippines? To, of course, also invite, you know, like young people, kids, to join the sport even more and appreciate it even more.
I think one of the biggest opportunities we have right now in the Philippines is to be able to integrate it into into schools, basically, more schools. And as we know, we have a lot of unused land in the Philippines,
Yes.
which is an opportunity to create fields. It's also just changing the stigma that we can be good at this, as proven by the women's national team. So it's really just a shift in mentality that we
Right.
need. Yeah.
Right, okay. All right, Santino, this has been such a fruitful discussion, but my last question for you is, what is your ultimate vision for yourself as a football player?
As a football player, I just really want to be happy. That's as simple
that's
as
so
that.
nice.
And
that means happiness. What does that mean
happiness for me means that I'm satisfied and I've given everything to the sport, and it's given me everything that I deserve back. So when I reach that point, that's when I know that I can retire and not have any regrets.
to you? So you haven't retired yet. So I'm gonna guess you're not in that level, pa.
No. We're still far from
getting
that.
it,
Yeah.
getting there. Okay, Santino, it has been such a lovely discussion. Again, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you also.